Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and we are going to talk about a very interesting subject. We are going to talk about digital transformation. And what I want to do today, I want to show you a few points that will allow you to create the most amount of success in your digital transformation. Those points you need to look after in order to make sure that everything is implemented correctly and that the transformation is going to be a success. So let's start with the first one. The first thing that the digital transformation is doing for us is that it brings our sales and marketing closer. In that sense, it's important to create sales and marketing alignment. The digital marketing transformation already happened in a lot of marketing departments, or also started happening in a lot of sales departments. And now, as it goes and becomes more intense, the digital communication with the customers becomes more intense. We start using much more data. We need to make sure that these two departments are working well together, that they are in sync, that they are gathering the right customer data to help us get the customer further down the line towards a sale, and that the salesman is aware of all the data that was collected and is able to use that data in order to create influence. We need to make sure that that point that is taking the lead out of the digital space, out of the social media, the websites, and bringing it into the hands of the sales rep to create further engagement with the customer, we need to make sure that this process is being done quickly, that it's being done with the most amount of data that can really help the sales rep to push the sale forward. And we need to make sure that the sales rep only gets verified leads, verified information. It's essential to decide who does the verification process, who is going to be the one that decides where the lead is going to. The assignment of leads in the digital space is critical. The assignment of leads to the right team, to the right person that's handling this type of customers. It can be a small customer, it can be a medium-sized customer, it can be an enterprise. So with different types of customers, we want to assign them into different types of salespeople, or maybe different types of team that have different types of products or service expertise. So the verification process of whoever picks up the lead, whoever nurtures the lead in the lead nurturing process and generating those initial starts of conversations with customers for us. We need to make sure that this transition is being done quickly, that it's being done efficiently, that it's being done in a way that keeps the most amount of quality data inside that specific opportunity for the next person to handle it further. So this is one thing that we need to know about leads. The second thing that we need to know is that not all leads are created equal, right? We have big customers, we have small customers. We have customers that already purchased from us. We have customers that never purchased from us. We have customers that we know that are big service consumers, big resources consumers. And we have customers that once we get a lead from them, we really want to make sure that we do everything possible in order to win this opportunity. So going back to that verification process and the assignment process, we need to make sure that we analyze the sources of those leads as well. Some leads have higher potential, higher financial potential. We want to make sure that we handle those leads first. We need to prioritize the leads. You can't take 100 leads coming out of a great campaign that we did last night and brought us a lot of interested customers. We can't take all those 100 leads and treat them the same, because they are different. Some of them we want to give special treatment to. And we need to make sure that our digital transformation, the way that we build that process, really enables us to do so. The next thing we want to take care of is the response time. So let me tell you something. You weren't the only company on the internet that day. When your customer Googled those keywords that were after a specific solution, he Googled the keywords that you targeted in your campaign, but your competitors also targeting the same keywords. And it's most likely that the business buyer that is looking for your solution already sent a contact us form to your company and also to 2 or 3 others. Now, who is going to win that race? Who is going to get that customer first? Let me tell you what will help for sure: your response time. The thing is that the company that will take this buyer and will help this buyer progress on that timeline of making a purchase, of making a deal, the company that will do it the fastest, the company that will manage to get this buyer already invested in the procurement process with your solution, this is the company that is going to win. One of the major factors to make it happen is your initial response. Now, response time, you know, we all know it's important, but today we have a lot of great tools to automate responses, automate and personalize responses. So this is definitely a place where if you are taking your digital transformation initiative into the sales team, you need to make sure that your sales reps are aware that the response time is critical for them to close more deals. Guys, we are living in a generation that grew up on gourmet dinners for the microwave, okay? Everybody is used to very, very quick feedback, very, very quick response and replies, answers. This is what we need to provide, and technology and those digital transformations allow us to make it happen. The next thing I want to talk to you about is about your customer file. Okay, so for years we've been managing customer files. Now we even have CRMs and we have a lot of data in those customer files. A lot of data, we keep collecting it, it's great. But what do we really do with it? So let me tell you this. If your sales team, and I'm talking about the rep, I'm talking about the field agent, I'm talking about the pre-sale engineer, if those people are not using the data in the customer file, you are doing something wrong. You are either collecting the wrong data or you are displaying the data for your team in a way that is not useful for them. They need to be able to use that data in order to bring better results. The most easy example these days, when we start engaging with a new lead, is to make sure that the sales rep is aware of which campaign, marketing campaign, influenced that lead, that contact that is now communicating with. If our marketing department did a good job and created a campaign and managed to manufacture a lead out of it, we should be able to know which campaign influenced that lead. This is the very basic. So constantly in our customer file, we need to know what's happening. Now let me give you another example. What's happening if a customer that is not active, a customer that is currently non-active, is suddenly registering to one of our webinars or suddenly enrolls to a different program that we have about some inspiring training or so on? Our sales rep needs to know about this. He needs to know that this non-active customer became active all of a sudden. Something needs to trigger that. So this is all needs to be managed in our customer files. Moving on to the next point, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier, we need to automate repetitive tasks. Let's talk about time for a second. We talked about how important it is to respond quickly. Let's talk about the time that we manage inside our organization. We all understand today that time is the most important resource that we have. This is by far the thing that we want to make sure that we invest in the right places, especially when we're talking about our sales team. So the kind of tasks that we can automate are the kind of tasks that our sales team, either way, doesn't like doing that much. Salespeople, let me tell you something, they like to sell. They like to be in customer interactions. Let me tell you one more thing you already know. This is also where you want them to be. Because when they are there, they can bring you the money. When they are quoting, when they are doing follow-ups, when they are filing, when they are doing different types of administrative stuff, they are not selling. And this is very, very important to use those digital transformation opportunities in order to focus them on the right places and make sure that they allocate the time in the right places. So we can automate a lot of tasks. We can do them full automatic, we can do them half automatic, but it's essential that each one of you in their own organizations, you will analyze what are those repetitive tasks that we can automate, and then we can let the humans deal with creating the human connection and let the machines deal with collecting data and putting it in our systems. Okay, so I want to summarize and show you a few keys for success as we approach the end of this presentation. First thing I want to talk about is quantity. We need to be able to manage as many processes as possible, as many new sale opportunities, as many new leads, as many big deals, small deals, medium deals, everything we can do, we want as much as we can. This is one of the advantages of the digital transformation. Everything is scalable. We have solutions. So we want to always keep the incoming stream going up of new leads, new opportunities, whatever we can do. And we need to make sure that we have the right tools to manage it correctly and feel like the team is actually doing what they need to do in the right time, in the right response time, and that everybody's happy, our salespeople and our customers. This is a very fragile balance sometimes, but it's essential. The second thing is we want to match the resources that we invest into the right customer interfaces. You remember I talked earlier about how not all leads are created equal. We also can't invest the time that is needed for a video conference, for example, with every customer. So we need to make sure that we invest video conference time or sales call time in customers that really make sense to do that effort with. Other customers that are smaller volume, we need to keep them on text channels. It can be email, it can be instant messaging. We need to make sure that we are monitoring all those communication channels. If our customers are talking with our sales reps on some communication channel and we are not there, we are not monitoring, we are not controlling the templates, we are not monitoring the way that our team is providing the service and offering the solution, telling the story, then we have an issue. If it's WhatsApp, if it's Facebook Messenger, if your customers are using those tools to talk to your team and you are not, and you still don't have an organizational strategy of how to deal and monitor with it, this is something you need to solve. This very quickly will get to the bottom of your competitiveness. So the last thing I want to talk about, and which we already mentioned, is time. We need to cut the response time. We need to make sure that we're helping our team to avoid administrative tasks that take too much of their time. Thank you very much.